Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Shawn Anthony. I'm excited because this is Extra Credit Fridays, where we jump back into those iconic conversations from some of our most amazing guests in less than 5 minutes. And today we are back with none other than Darnyelle Jervey Harmon. We talk about why 6 figures isn't enough, how you can set up the proper systems in your business and even make $10,000 a week. Grab your pen, grab your paper, and enjoy this week's Extra Credit Friday clip with none other than Darnyelle Jervey Harmon. You touched on something that a lot of people who say they want to get in this space, they don't think about it until they're actually in the space, and that is systems. Like, what's the importance of systems, or like what are some of the best things that you can give our audience right now if they were trying to put forth a system in their business? What is something that will work?
Yeah. So first and foremost, let me say systems make your success predictable. And there are different types of systems. There are some systems that are just documented procedures, or SOPs, standard operating procedures, knowing step by step what has to be done by you or a member of your team to predict the success and get the same result every single time you did it. But then there's also automation systems. And so what we teach our clients is that there are 7 systems that you need to have fully operationalized in order to make the move to millions. You need a client management system. You need a marketing system. You need a sales system. You need a legal management system. You need a financial management system. You need a talent management system, and you need a general operations system. So each of these systems has a specific role to play, and there are going to be subsystems that are operationalized in terms of SOPs, as well as automated in terms of software that are out there. Like a big one, if we're talking about client management, is you need a CRM, or customer relationship management system. There are a lot of different CRMs out there, and many of them also will handle your sales and your marketing functionality. And if you're lucky, some of them will even manage your financial management functionality, right? So you could get one really robust system like we use in Infusionsoft, or Keep is the new name for it. We've been using it since 2012, and it operationalizes all of our marketing and sales infrastructure inside of our business. So once we set up the SOP for the funnel or the process that we're using it, we can put it in and we can set it and forget it, right? It immediately turns into that rotisserie that they used to do the infomercials about back in the day. And that's just one example, but having each of these systems set up, like how are you managing the day-to-day in your business? How are you managing the legal stuff? Do you have contracts? Do you have intellectual property protection? Like when you're just throwing a bar, as you call it, Shawn, out there, like, is that bar protectable? Are you going through the process to register it as a trademark, so that if anybody else is using it, now you have opportunities to get additional revenue because of infringement, or you can license it to people? Like when you have these 7 systems set up, it is not only the catalyst to get you to 7 figures, but it's how you can really build wealth through your business just by operationalizing every core function inside of it. And this is one of the places and the reason we do this is because most people don't even know that they need to have these 7 areas of their business on lock. And it's often the reason why they're hustling and grinding instead of experiencing that grace and ease.
Guys, if you're catching this, I want you to know, because you're probably saying, oh, what was that? What was that? What was 3? What was 4? What was 5? What was those 7 systems? We're going to have them in the show notes, because I think that's so important that people can write that down and start to apply it. I think also too, when I did my research on it, the things that you've said and the many people you've helped, like there's some people that people have probably purchased products from. They like all their content, and I know that you're behind a lot of those brands. But one of the things that you said is you have to have 50 leads per week, or that's bare minimum. And I know a lot of our audience members right now, they're saying, okay, Shawn, I can only get, you got Darnyelle on the show, I can only get maybe 5 leads per week. What are some things that, a coach, a consultant, or somebody that has a business should be looking for to get that bare minimum 50 leads per week?
Yeah. So, and this is probably going to be another one of those contrarian things, because there's a lot, and I'm not a social media girl. What I mean by that is I didn't grow up on social. I don't take to social for everything. You're going to go and you're going to look me up on Instagram, and you're going to question whether or not I really am who I say I am because I got 5,000 followers. I promise you I am. And so for me, driving leads, there's the first thing you have to identify is what's going to be your traffic source. What's the source that you're leveraging as your primary impetus to have have consistent people know that you show up. And so there are three. You can choose free or organic. That's most people who are using social, especially if they're not using advertising. You have paid, which is going to be your advertising platforms. And then you have partnership. That's getting connected with someone like Shawn and showing up on his podcast. As a result of that, many of you are going to go check me out and see whether or not you can learn about what I'm doing, right? So the first step is to identify what you have. If you don't have money, but you have time, focus on free and organic. If you have money and you don't have time, focus on paid. If you, and while you're doing both of them, be building relationships with people, because the best leads you will ever get come from word of mouth. Hands down, unequivocally. The sales cycle is so much shorter when someone says, hey, you should work with. So you want to get that happening as much as possible. Now, on a weekly basis, I tell my clients that you should spend at minimum 90 minutes every single day in business development mode. So that means even if you are showing up on social, you're showing up with a call to action. Every time you post on Instagram, every time you go live on Facebook, every time you open a room on Clubhouse, you should know what your call to action is. And you should have several lead magnets. So I recommend that you have at least 3, and you start with 3 because you need to test them to identify which of those is going to be the one that if you spend all of your energy and attention on, you'll be able to really maximize the number of people you get to come into your funnel, right? And so within those 3 lead generators, one of them should be easy peasy. It should be a PDF of a checklist or your process, your framework, something that they can just grab really, really quick that has a very low barrier of entry in terms of time for you to get them on your list. The second one should be one where you get to begin the process of qualifying them. A great way to do this might be to leverage a quiz, right? You can ask a question, like we have a quiz that we're going to be rolling out. Where are you on the move to millions? We're trying to identify where people are and what's keeping them, what they need to fix next in order to get closer to where they want to go. And then the third one should be an opportunity to demonstrate your expertise. That's typically going to be a video series, a case study video, or a short webinar. When I say short webinar, no more than 30 minutes. You should set each of those up and then test. One of the quick ones that we have, Shawn, that has produced so extremely well for us, I chuckle because it's not even my content. It's the Bible. I have, I think it's 40 Bible scriptures for entrepreneurs who want to make the move to millions. That Bible scriptures cheat sheet gets like hundreds of leads a week. Ooh. Now, all of the leads aren't qualified because everybody who's downloading it may not actually be an entrepreneur, but we have literally had people who opted in. I have a client right now. She just signed up for her second year to work with me, who opted in from the Bible scriptures. From just her, I've made like $60,000. Wow. And she got Bible scriptures that weren't even my content. Like, so that's what I mean when I say something quick. We live in the information age. People don't, yes, they can Google and they can string things together, but if you can shorten their learning curve and put it together for them in a concise package, they will be quick to give you their name, their email, and their telephone number. And now you have everything you need to be able to market to them. And if you can't get their phone number, that's cool. These days you can use social, get their IG or Facebook profile name, and you can call them right through the social apps to be able to connect with them and see if you can deepen the conversation to get them to conversion.